Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's now time, isn't it? Time to get this show on the road, shall we? So this morning, interesting, folks. I hope you're ready for the ride. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the world famous Rich Wilson show. And it's mornings with morning coffee with Rich. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world-famous Rich Wilson Show.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. So, pretty sure you're gonna notice, number one, microphones up here now instead of over there, and the sound is a little bit different. Well, it's because it is. Now, unfortunately, not much I could do about the shadow. We're still working on some lighting issues. We're going to bring some light up from down here. But anyhow, welcome to the show. Good morning. Hope you have a cup of coffee. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here in the bunker. Hopefully you guys got a decent amount of sleep. Last night we had a story that broke. Or yesterday we had a story that broke, and it is about a U.S. Navy SEAL that, well, let's go ahead and talk about it, and let's tell you a story, and then we'll get into the fine details of the discussion. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Daniel Swift. Daniel Swift is, he was a Navy Special Warfare Operator, first class. Now, for those of you wondering, what does all that mean? Special Forces, okay? Special Forces. Specialized in certain fields and stuff like that. So, here's what makes this interesting, so to speak. I hate the fact that that shadow is sitting like that. So let me read the story to you. Here's a news article. American Navy SEAL who went AWOL in 2019 was killed this week during Russia's assault on eastern Ukraine. Can we just bring up the display capture so people can read it? Okay, there you go. Daniel Swift, a Naval Special Warfare Operator First Class, was killed on Wednesday after he died suffering injuries with a unit under attack by Russia, an official said, Time reported. The Navy Absentee Collections Information Center said that Swift had been in active deserter status since March 11th of 2019. According to his service records that were obtained by the news outlet, through the U.S. State Department would not confirm Swift's identity that they had issued a statement that an American was killed in action. We can confirm the recent death of U.S. citizen fighting in Ukraine, the statement said. We are in touch with his family, providing all possible counselor assistance out of respect and privacy. The family during this difficult time. We have nothing further to add. Let's see here. Let me find it. There we go. The Navy told the Washington Times that they did not speculate as to why the former sailor was in Ukraine, so the Navy has admitted to it. They did not provide any additional details about his U.S. military record. Swift, who was from Oregon, first enlisted in 2005. He received a number of medals, including Iraqi Campaign Medal, Afghan Campaign Medal, and the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, according to his releasable service records. Okay. So, you guys want to know why? First of all, was this the best story that they could come up with? Because let's stop and review some of the details here, okay? Number one, a highly decorated U.S. Navy SEAL went AWOL 4 years ago. Okay, not quite 4 years. March will be 4 years. 4 years ago. So, before the pandemic. So you can't say that he went because they were going to force him to take the vaccine. Okay. well before the Ukrainian war started, or the conflict in Ukraine began. Okay, so and he went AWOL, been AWOL for 4 years, and left the country as a special forces operator. Do you even remotely think that's humanly possible? The only way that man got into Ukraine, leaving the United States as a U.S. Navy SEAL that's AWOL, was he had to stuff himself in a crate and go overseas. I mean, on the crate, it could have said it was rubber dog crap on the crate or whatnot, because you're not flying on an airplane commercially or even privately out of the United States to a foreign country. First of all, you have to go through checkpoints to get out of the United States. For those of you that have vacationed overseas as a normal citizen, you have to show your passport. You have to, it gets scanned. And if you are AWOL, especially as a special forces operator, there is no way on God's green earth your passport was still good. It just, no. Your passport is invalid. Okay. Your IDs are flagged. So if you try to go through the airport to try and leave the country, poof, you're not going anywhere. Second of all, special forces operator that's AWOL, and the reason why, and for those of you who wonder what's AWOL mean, it's a leave without absence. The Navy doesn't call it that. My wife could tell you what she calls it, or what the Department of the Navy calls it. But anyway, so they put an arrestable warrant out, a federal warrant. Well, sorry, not arrestable. All warrants are arrested. Okay, they put a federal warrant out for your arrest that is extraditious. It means wherever you are at when you get picked up, the authorities know to take you into custody because the federal government's going to come get you. Especially when you're a special forces operator. So again, how did he get himself to Ukraine? Because in 2019 we didn't have the war in Ukraine. So there was no reason for him to go to Ukraine. What did he went AWOL, decided to live in Ukraine until the war happened to happen? No. Okay, that's not okay what happened. Okay. Stop and think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Stop and think about this. 4 years ago, he supposedly went AWOL, and he wound up in Ukraine and was killed. So, was killed in Ukraine by the Russians. Okay, let's stop and think about that for a second. What did he do? Just suddenly one day, while AWOL, decide I'm going to get on a plane, go to Ukraine, stopped in Zelensky's office, said, "Hi, I'm a former U.S. Navy SEAL, and I want to kill the Russians." It doesn't work like that. Okay? None of this holds up. That's why I said this is probably the worst story the Department of Defense could have came up with. It'd have been a whole lot better if they'd have told the story, oh, well, there was a training incident. Or, better yet, they could have said, Daniel had an aunt in Ukraine, and he went to Ukraine. Oh, great. I'm getting auto-generated messaging and stuff. So he went to Ukraine. He went to Ukraine to go visit an aunt, right? So let's say they could have came up with that. They could have said he had an aunt in Ukraine, and after the Russian bombing or something like that, they wanted to make sure he wanted to go over and make sure that his aunt was safe, and unfortunately got killed while he was over there as a citizen or a civilian. But here's why they can't. Okay, folks. Here's why they can't say that. because they can't even use that anymore. And this is where they got stupid. Give me a second. I'm a one-man operation, folks. Read that second, or was it the second statement? No, the fourth, the fourth set there. Through the U.S., though the U.S. State Department would not confirm Swift's identity, they issued a statement that an American was killed in action. KIA. They admitted that they had someone there that was killed in action. In order for the State Department to say that somebody was killed in action, that's admitting they had somebody there. So their own story, they can't even get straight. Okay? Their own story, they can't get straight. Let me turn it down. It's kind of distracting. Okay, so their own story, they can't get it straight. Oh, we don't have anything going on in Ukraine. But we had an American killed in action. And what makes me angry about this is a dedicated, or a dedicated and decorated U.S. Navy SEAL. And so the cover story is going to be, well, he went AWOL and deserted his country. Okay. That's the cover stories. Oops. Because this is what happened. You cannot tell me with us funneling all this money and all these weapons into a country, fighting a proxy war with the Russians, that we do not have special forces and advisors. Okay, where we heard that story from before, go watch the Ken Burns documentary on Vietnam. We had special advisors in the country. So you can't tell me we didn't have that. And now the State Department acknowledges that an American was killed in action in Ukraine. The story we're going to get is he deserted his country. He went AWOL, somehow left the country. Special Forces operator leaves the country and goes to Ukraine and fights in the war, and somehow we didn't know about this. This is a bunch of garbage, and the reason why I'm so adamant about this, I am sick and tired of our men and of the special forces that go do things that normal people would not be able to do. They make sacrifices that normal people would never do. They make sacrifices and do things that regular members of my brothers and sisters of veterans of the military would never do. And this time around, to cover up so the Russians don't evidently pop off and that we have operators operating in Russia, the best thing we can do is trash it. Now, I'm going to have friends who are going to say, well, we accept that risk and we understand that this may be what the country asks us to do. But we're going to put it out there publicly, and now this operator is, everybody's going to get from this, he was a deserter. That he left, he bailed on his country and went to go fight for another country. That's how people are going to see this. They're not going to see, well, he was a hero. He went to go do the right thing. I'll guarantee you on social media, you won't see, tributes to Daniel Swift on people's Facebook pages. You're going to see one on mine. You're going to see one on my Twitter page. You're going to see one on every one of my social media pages. There's going to be a salute to Navy SEAL Daniel Swift. You'll see one on mine. Because this story's garbage. This is the best they could come up with, is to go ahead and trash him. I mean, because you think about it, you watch General Miley talk every day, and all he does is talk garbage about members of the military. He sits there and says we need to weed out all the bad people in the military, all the all the right-wing extremists. Hell, I remember a time when you went and joined the military and fight for your country. That you were considered right-wing right there just by simply joining the military. But because of this ideology that we have to have now it's just easier to throw these people under the bus instead of. They could have come up with a much better story than that. But the State Department admitted that an American was killed in action. The State Department admitted that they was there. They wouldn't admit him, but they would admit that there was somebody, And then this story that I'm reading it from was from MSN, but I mean it's on Daily Wire, it's on CNN, it's on all of them. It's floating everywhere. This guy was a disgrace to the way that this story portrays is this guy was a disgrace to the United States military, a disgrace to the uniform, a disgrace to his fellow brothers and sisters that are veterans, and betrayed this country. That's how they put this. He's not a disgrace to this country. He was a hero to this country. I'm pretty sure, like I said again, we had advisors in Ukraine. And once again, I make the reference, go back and watch Ken Burns' Vietnam on PBS. You'll learn really good how loosely the term advisor is used. And then see what happened. And this is what happens. And for years, it was always the story. There was, if we lost a special forces team, there was a helicopter crash off the coast of Louisiana, somewhere out in the middle of Gulf of Mexico, where nobody's going to go, and that's where we lost them. And we were all accepting of that. That could be what our parents got told, but there wasn't the chance that they were going to say that. There was never the acknowledgement that, oh, we're going to make you look like a deserter and a traitor. And now they've done that. They've done that now. Now they're calling him a deserter and a traitor. He's not. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Daniel Swift, Navy Special Warfare Operator, First Class, United States Navy, decorated. Killed in action. He's not a deserter and he's not a traitor. I can't stand it. I understand the falsification because for matters of national security and stuff, we can't just go out on the record and say that we had these guys operating over there. I get that, but I don't accept lying about a person's service record and duty to their country. I don't accept that. You can lie and say that he was killed in a training accident. You could lie and say that he was, since he was over in Ukraine, they can't say a training accident. He was visiting a relative and got caught up in the bombing that happened by the Russians. You could say those things. But even if you're going to stretch and say, well, because he was over there with a weapon in his hand and the Russians may have gotten pictures of it and released it, and now it looks like a soldier, so we have to say he was acting on his own. There's much better ways to cover that. Instead of outright saying that this guy's trash, because he's not trash. That guy right there, I'd be willing to follow into the gates of hell. Why? Because I know we're coming back. And if we don't, we're going to put up one hell of a fight before it ends. There's a lot of people out there who's going to sit there and talk nothing but trash about this guy. I wouldn't follow you to a free lunch at Burger King. This guy over here, he's not a he's not a deserter, he's not a traitor. Just know that. Okay? This is garbage. The story is garbage. It's a lie. Make sure, folks, if you're gonna, if you could, go out there. If you like what you're watching, click the like button, smash the like button, click the the subscribe. There it is, right there. Share this. The moment that somebody posts up on their social media page today, if somebody puts up there about this guy being a traitor, post this. Post this video. All right. I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter because I found out that the long shows, very few people will stick around for them. I know you guys, some of my fans love my longer shows. And we're going to do the best we can to get back to that. It's a Saturday, and normally I don't do shows at all on the weekends. But after I saw the story, I had to make a comment about it. And my cup of coffee is just about done. Real quick, though, I will tell you, yesterday morning, it was ice cold in Kansas. Abilene, Kansas. But I will tell you, very beautiful town. If you ever get a chance to go to Kansas, go check out Abilene, Kansas. It's a really beautiful place. Anyway, my coffee's done. It's over. Much appreciated for the short period of time that we've had together today. And have yourselves a wonderful day. Remember, go out and do something for someone else. Just one person. Even if it's your significant other or your child. Every day, do something for someone else. And before too long, when that spreads around, everybody's doing something for everybody else, and we have a much better community than the people who are only out for themselves that want to constantly play as victims and blame you for all of their problems. Stop fake hate. So, by the way, if you'd like the Stop Fake Hate shirt, they're available on my website, therichwilsonshow.com. Make sure you sign up. Make sure on any of the social media platforms you're following, when you hit subscribe, make sure you hit notifications, because a lot of these channels are not showing it. It's not showing any of our videos in the feed. So with notifications, some of the times you get people that will, sometimes you'll get the notification we're live. Sometimes you won't. It's weird. It's all weird. That's another reason why a lot of people are trying to cut their shows down a little bit. Because YouTube is pushing the shorter videos forward and the longer videos further back. So that's how it goes. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the coffee this morning. I hope you had your cup of coffee. I had my cup of coffee. And anyway, we're out of here, folks. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day, and we'll see you later. All right, we're out of here. We're gone. We're leaving. Dave, can we leave now? What? Dave's saying that it's gotten a little messy out there. No, that's not the Dave. Yeah, it is raining outside. Pretty decently. Anyway, folks, you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we don't need that.
to the world famous Rich Wilson Show.
Dave, we didn't need the beginning of the show again. Anyway, folks, you guys have yourselves a good day. We'll see you later.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Why are you still here? Go home. Or if you're already home, go make another cup of coffee or something. See you later.